Hello, so in this video you'll be able to create dialogue, like this one right here. Some of your brother's old video games and stuff like that. Yeah. You'll be able to create that, so have fun. This one's gonna be a bit of a long one since it's pretty complicated, but I think you can get through it, so good luck. Okay, so first I'm gonna clear everything by closing everything and then creating a new workspace and closing it. Okay, so let's look at our steps. So first, go over to our player, and then we're gonna go in the create event, and we are gonna create one new variable, which is can move. And we're gonna set it to true. So basically what this variable is gonna control is whether we can move or not. Let's go over to the step event. And then we're gonna put here if can move um, can move. And we're gonna set it to true. So basically what this variable is gonna control is whether we can move or not. Let's go over to the step event. And then we're gonna put here if can move and we'll put the brackets and we'll indent this. Cool. No. When you start the game, you should be able to still move. But we'll be able to change this later in the text box for when we don't want to be able to move, since as you can see in Undertale, when you interact with the text box, you can't move while in the text box. So we'll change that later. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to get our font. So I'm going to create a new font in the fonts tab. And I'm going to call this F. Text. And I'm going yeah. So if you haven't gotten it yet, because I think we did get it in a previous episode, just all you need to do is just press these three dots and then download. I don't know why it's not working now, except it should work on your computer. So I'm just going to minimize this and go back to here. So for this, you just need to select font and then select the font you downloaded. Make sure to get the mono web, not the sans web. The sans web's really close together and we don't want that. We want the mono web. Size 12 seems good. Let's turn off anti-aliasing and click regenerate font texture. Let's go to game preview and that looks right. Okay. So now what we need to do on it yet, because I think we did get it in a previous episode. Just all you need to do is just press these three dots and then download. I don't know why it's not working now, except it should work on your computer. So I'm just going to minimize this and go back to here. So for this, you just need to select font and then select the font you downloaded. Make sure to get the mono web, not the sans web. The sans web's really close together and we don't want that. We want the mono web. Size 12 seems good. Let's turn off anti-aliasing and click regenerate font texture. Let's go to game preview, and that looks right. Okay. So now what we need to do is we're gonna create a new, actually gonna create a new folder. So we're gonna go down here, right click, create group. Size 12 seems good. Let's turn off anti-aliasing and click regenerate font texture. Let's go to game preview, and that looks right. Okay. So now what we need to do is we're gonna create a new, actually gonna create a new folder. So we're gonna go down here, right click, create group. I'm gonna call this text box. So all of these are basically just folders like scripts, sequences, shaders, rooms, paths. We're just gonna create our own. And we are gonna actually drag this font into the text box folder. We're gonna create a new sprite in the text box folder and call it S text box. And we are gonna set it to we're gonna scale it to 48 by 48. And press play. We're gonna create a new sprite in the text box folder and call it S text box. And we are gonna set it to we're gonna scale it to 48 by 48. And press play. Add an image. And now, so the way we're gonna do this is we are just going to turn on the grid, make sure, take this down, and then make sure that's 16 by 16, and then right here on the edge, I'm gonna go like that. Then I'm gonna do another one of that, like that. Cool. Now I'm gonna fill that in with black. And so basically what we're gonna do is it's gonna stretch this image across the screen, except we're gonna be using 9 slice. So basically, what 9 slice means is that rather than stretching across the screen and it'll look weird, it keeps the corner and the right corner, it keeps the corners on the edges, and then it stretches everything out to them so the corners don't look weird and everything else doesn't look weird. It might seem a little bit confusing, except it just makes it look better. So we're just gonna go to image, auto trim all frames. There we go. Now we're gonna open 9 slice and click activate 9 slice. And then for left, right, top, bottom. So now we're gonna create a new object in the text box category and call it O text box. And then add a new event, create. And the create event, we're gonna wanna put in the text box, sorry, parameters. I think that's how you spell it. Text box width is 275. Text box. And then add a new event, create. In the create event, we're gonna wanna put in the text box, sorry, parameters. I think that's how you spell it. Text box width is 275 by 6. Create. In the create event, we're gonna wanna put in the text box, sorry, parameters. I think that's how you spell it. Text box width is 275 by 60. I'm just guessing. So one way we can figure out what the width and height would be is we can go to our hallway and see this white square. That's our camera. So what we can just do is I'm gonna create a new asset layer. So basically an asset layer, just you can put sprites on it. I'm gonna delete this right after this, so you don't have to put that there. So I'm gonna toggle off grid, and then I'm gonna stretch this across the screen. Except, yeah, it looks more like that. It looks like that kind of, I think. Yeah, let's look at Undertale. That looks about right. A little below. A little more there. Cool, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, that looks good. Now I'm just gonna drag this to the corner. And then I'm gonna put my cursor right at the edge of that. And then I see it says 286, 82 right here. To 286, 82. 286, 82. Okay, so that's gonna be my size, my width and height. And so now we need the border, which is gonna be 8. So that is the distance. So the border is the distance from the left of the text box to the text of the text box, if that makes sense. And then line separation. Which is the separations of line of a line on each line. Yeah, so, okay. So line separation, now we have line width. So this is gonna be how long we can go before going on the next line. So like how, yeah, I think you get it. It's like word route if you ever heard of it. Okay, line width equals text box width minus border times 2. Now we have line width. So this is gonna be how long we can go before going on the next line. So like how, yeah, I think you get it. It's like word route if you ever heard of it. Okay, line width equals text box width minus border times 2. So basically, it's just subtracting by the border, since the border is going to be on both sides of the text box. And the text box width is just this. Cool. Now we're going to do txtb underscore sprite. So that just, txtb just stands for text box equals s text box. And so we're just setting the text box right to the s text box. txtb underscore image. equals 0 xtb square image speed equals 0. So if you're using an animated sprite for your text box, this is what these two are used for. I'm not actually going to end up using them because I'm not using an animated text box, but if you are, what you need to do is, for image speed, you need to get whatever the frames per second is. So like for example, this is 30 seconds, so if yours is 6 or something, you need to set this to 6 divided by how many frames your game is, which it should be 60. So that would be your image speed. But I'm not animating, so yeah. Just whatever your FPS is divided by 60. Okay. Now we need the actual text. So for this, I'm just going to put page equals 0, which is going to be the current page we're on. Since we're going to have multiple pages. Oh no, it's going to be how many. Yeah, it's going to be what page we're on. I mean, page number. Is going to be how many pages we have in total. And then I'm just going to put text to 0 equals text. So basically the way it'll work is you can put multiple of these that are like text 0 equals text, x1 equals what? Text. To it's like it's just each page. I haven't taught arrays yet, but basically is they're just a variable that holds multiple values. So I did the box example before, and so the box holds a value, But imagine there's a box that holds multiple values labeled with a number starting from 0. So we have value 0, we have value 1, value 2. So if we want the box inside of a box, if we want 1, we would just put box in brackets 1. If we wanted 2, we would do box in brackets 2. So it's basically just a variable that holds multiple values. Okay. So that's what we would do if we want. So we would write stuff like this if we wanted multiple pages, except we'll add multiple pages later in a different object later on in this episode. Okay, so I'm just gonna make feelings and then text length 0. It's gonna be set to string length. Text 0. So basically what this is doing is this is creating a new array and setting its 0 to the length of this, which is text. So it would be 4, the length would be 4. Why it's doing this is so we know how much text we need to put, which is for later when we need to do like the typewriting effect. You know, the effect that like, see how the text types out like that? Yeah, that's what we'll need this for, and we'll also need it for when we know we're done with the text box. Okay. Now we put draw car equals 0. This is what character we are currently drawing. And then text speed, which is how fast we want the message to type out. 1 is a good number for right now, don't change that. And then we're gonna set setup to false. So setup is just, if it's false, it's basically gonna run a bunch of code and then set it to true. So we're just putting this here so it can set up first and then later it won't set up. And then setup is false though, because it hasn't done setup yet. Now we're gonna create the draw event. Pretty sure time what the draw event does before, so I'm not going to explain. We're just going to draw the text box and everything. Okay, first we want to have a confirm key. So this key will be used for when you need to go to the next message in the text box. So I'm just gonna put these two lines, which means or you can just put or. I'm gonna put the two lines though. No, I'm gonna put or. Okay. Just know that it's more polite to use the, not polite, more proper to use the two lines. Okay, keyboard, check, press, VK, enter. That looks good. Now we have the confirm key, so now we just need to get the text box X and text box Y, but let's just put camera U. More proper to use the two lines. Okay, keyboard, check, press, VK, enter. That looks good. Now we have the confirm key, so now we just need to get the text box X and text box Y, but let's just put camera U. Okay. Just know that it's more polite to use the, not polite, more proper to use the two lines. Okay, keyboard, check, press, VK, enter. That looks good. Now we have the confirm key, so now we just need to get the text box X and text box Y. But let's just put camera U X U. Camera 0. Boom. That should be good. Now we just need to do the same thing for text box Y. Except we want to add a number. So remember in this room when we were measuring this? Now I'm just gonna set this up. I'm gonna put this all the way on the bottom where we wanted it. And then this looks right about where the text box should go. And now I'm just gonna put my cursor over right along the top. And then it says 148 for the Y down here. It says 148. So I'm just gonna add 148.